Hey folks, Stronghold Crafter Kev here, another video. Welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to continue my tutorial on how to make a castle wall out of foam. Yes! And in this particular I'm going to go over how to detail the trim piece underneath the merlons. And by the way, Nina the Terror says hi. Don't you, Nina? Welcome to my channel. If you're a new viewer, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. So I have a lot more things coming to the channel, and I wouldn't want you to miss out. And if you are a subscriber, thank you. Appreciate it. For more information on my craft, visit my website, which is strongholdsoffantasy.com. And I'll see you in a bit. Bye, Nina. Hey, folks. Welcome back to the castle wall tutorial, and this one we're going to detail the trim piece a little bit. So first what you want to do is you want to mark the middle part here with a Sharpie. Because now we're going to use our engraving tool from the hot wire foam factory, and we are going to basically carve our line out. I'm not too concerned about how straight this is. Gives it a more dynamic look anyway. We don't want to have too many big solid pieces of a castle anyway. Everything goes together in pieces, I think, for the most part. So, yeah, angel hairs. Alright, now we want to do the inner part very carefully, and be very careful because you will burn your fingers if you're not careful with how you apply this. And you don't want to go too deep because this part is thin. So let's keep that in mind here. Yes. I mean, it's part of a detail that you won't see too well. However, I like to go the extra mile and do a little bit more detail than really what's required. And, of course, the ever popular angel hairs, which are virtually visible underneath this camera here. So, I will set up the next part and take the next step. Hold on. Alright. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put an angle on it using the hot wire foam factory 3D scrolling table. Now I have it set, it's hard to see in this angle from the camera, but this is actually set at a diagonal angle. And one thing to point out, if you're going to do diagonal cuts, it's a little challenging to get the same diagonal all the time if you go back and forth between straight cuts and diagonal cuts. So what I did was I devised a, this is my working template which I use to set up the angle, so I always have a pretty close diagonal. So I'm not going to go into how I moved all this wire around, that's going to take too long. So basically what I'm saying is, once you have your angle cut set up, you just very carefully yes, front piece. Make sure you have a front piece or know where your front piece is. And you gently slide it through. I mean, some people might say, well, why don't you, yes, be very careful. This wire is hot. It will burn you if you're not careful. And I'm having a heck of a time trying to get that piece out. Anyway, what I was referring to is I find that it's just easier with less surface area as opposed to cutting a diagonal through a solid piece. Now I do have other areas of other projects where I've cut a solid piece all the way through. I just find it easier to do it this way for this particular. Sometimes they're easier to get off than others. So I have to be careful I don't touch this too. But anyway, you see how it definitely gives a dramatic look to it for a trim piece. And one more step after this is I would take a file to smooth this out just a little bit. So you have to be very careful because this is going to be very fragile. So when you do the filing with a small file, which I highly recommend a small file, like something like this, make sure you have a hand on the main thick part. Don't hold this part here, so there won't be any breakage. Alright, that takes care of this part, and we'll go on to the next step.